Welcome to the Seattle Investors Club podcast with Julie Clark and Joe Bauer, where we share the nuts and bolts of real estate investing from our 20-plus years in the industry. Sit back, relax, listen, and immediately take action. Are you ready? Here we go.
Welcome to the Nuts and Bolts of Real Estate Investing podcast. My name is Joe Bauer, and I'm here with my co-host, Julie Clark. Julie, how you doing today?
I am good, Joe. Ho, ho, ho. And happy holidays, everybody. What date is it? Today is December 23rd. Whoa. December 23rd on the cusp of a wonderful holiday season here. Are you ready for the holidays, Joe, out there in Florida?
We already did the holidays up in Seattle, but we're going to try and do it a little bit again, although it does not feel like the holidays in the sunshine down here.
That's right. What are you guys going to do on Christmas Day? Any special plans while you're out on the road, since you pretty much did your celebrating already while you're here in Seattle?
So it's completely random, but Emily's cousin, who lives in Quebec, actually drove 25 hours yesterday and I guess today to come down to Venice, Florida with his kids. So we're going to hang out with them.
Wow, that's a lot of family love right there. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there anybody in my family I'd drive 25 hours to see.
Well, yeah, it was random though. I can't say that he did it for us. They just do it it's random that we happen to be in this area of the country when they do that.
So you guys went to Disney World? Is that what I saw?
Holy smokes. Yeah, we did. We did. We did Universal on Friday, and then we did the Animal Kingdom, the Avatar ride. Waited in line for 3 hours for that sucker.
Was it worth it?
It was. I mean, here's the thing. If you don't do it, then you're going to always wonder. So if you do it and you enjoy it, which it was really good. It was the best ride they had there for sure. Definitely the best ride.
And which one was that?
That was the Avatar and Animal Kingdom Avatar ride. It's like a really high end, like 3D experience.
Love it.
Yeah, it was cool. And then we did Epcot, and man, those restaurants in Epcot are off the hook.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Yeah, we had to get a reservation. We got a reservation, and we went and had some of the best sushi I've ever had at this restaurant. It was so good. And then we capped the night with the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom. It was a long day.
Living large out on the road. My God. I love Universal Studios. I've only been to the one in LA, but I love the Simpsons ride. It's like a virtual roller coaster, but it's all Simpsons. Oh man. I don't know. I've never been to the Florida Disney World. I after I go to Disneyland, I'm like one and done. I get tired of the lines. It drives me insane.
Yeah, totally. And the lines right now here are really bad. But we did get to do Harry Potter World, or however they call it, in Universal around here, which was pretty cool because it was all Christmased up, festive.
Nice. Awesome. Well, us Clark girls, hit Stevens for first day out, a little skiing and snowboarding. You'd be proud of us.
Whoop, whoop.
Came back in one piece. I couldn't walk the next day for at least half the day, but I got it going on now. We actually might even go tomorrow again. So looking forward to that. Also looking forward to 2019 and how interesting. It's going to be an interesting year transitioning over here today. Today, guys, what we're going to be talking about, you're stuck with me and Joe. We don't have anybody. We're not interviewing anybody today. We're going to do our own thing here, mostly because it's hard to book people around the holidays. And we're going to reflect back on some of the hot topics for 2018 that we covered, as well as what some hot topics as we roll into 2019, and maybe give you guys kind of a look back on some resources that might help you guys out as you take a break here for a minute, have some downtime, extra time to maybe read a few good books, listen to some extra podcasts, and wrap up your business plan for 2019, which will be different, right? Because the market has changed. It's, a lot of people got into the real estate investing business in the last 2 or 3 years, we'll say, where the market was ticking up, and they haven't yet experienced any bumps. And some people are probably getting a little spanking right now, a little bit, just on timing of if they had to list their properties here in the last half of 2018. But I think we're going to be okay, guys. We're not tanking. At least none of us think we're tanking in the market, and just got to be paying attention, right? So let's see. I'm going to kick it off, guys, today and just talk about, this is just me talking, got nothing else to talk about today. So we're just going to talk about some of the topics that I think were hot in 2018 and will continue to be hot probably for all times and going into 2019. But the first one, and some of these things we've talked about before, some of these things we're going to be talking about in 2019, doing a deeper dive on. And one of those things, hot topics, will be opportunity zones. So opportunity zones are is a new type of zoning, a new type of opportunity for some tax savings. I don't know all the details yet of it myself on the opportunity zones, but we are going to have somebody on the podcast here in short order coming up, hopefully in January, that'll do a deep dive on that. It'll probably be our friend Mark Canton, I think. But you guys want to zero in and school up on what an opportunity zone is, because there are advantages to investing in opportunity zones in regards to tax savings. And it requires you to spend a certain amount of money on rehab. So there's a bunch of rules related to it. And I'll definitely say I'm not the expert on that yet, but we will all soon be deep diving into that going into next year. So that's one hot topic that's carrying over from the end of this year into 2019. You guys do your own research and homework on that between now and the time we have a podcast topic on that. Another hot topic, of course, was the tax reform that hit here for 2018. I'm sure you're all well aware that has occurred. Some rules that have changed. That'll definitely impact, I think, more so some of the higher end sales. If you are doing flips in the higher end, might be something that you need to think twice about due to the cap on, interest write-offs that people have at $750,000. You can only write off your interest up to $750,000 on your personal residence as of changes in this tax law. But we did do a full podcast with our friend Mark Canton talking about that sort of thing, and just in general tax accounting and tax tips for real estate investors. So part of what we're going to do today is we are going to refer you guys back, because luckily, which is so awesome for us here at Seattle Investors Club, for me and Joe, we have done, I don't know, how many podcasts are we up to now, Joe? 57, 50?
This one's 59.
59. So as we roll through today, I think what we're going to do, it's kind of fun for Joe and I to be able to do this, is we're going to refer you guys back on some of these topics to past podcasts. We'll give you the podcast number on some of these, and you guys can deep dive over the holidays here or during the downtime and, check back in on these hot topics that we are going to be covering today. And I'm repeating myself a bunch of times right now because I'm actually pulling up our podcast on SeattleInvestorsClub.com under the podcast tab, or you can just go to sicpodcast.com and you can get a whole list of all our podcasts. And they are in order of the newest one will show up on the at the top. So number 56 or whatever, probably 55, 56 will be at the top. Number one, you'd have to scroll through to the bottom. No big deal. No big deal. So the first one I'm referring back to is real estate accounting with our buddy, our CPA buddy, Mark Canton. That is podcast number 43, which is something that is always a hot topic. Whether you know what I actually find? We even actually interviewed Tucker Merrihew, our new friend Tucker Merrihew down in Portland, Oregon, who just crushes it down there on flips and development, new construction, built a Street of Dreams house even and everything. He is the founder of the Driving for Dollars app. And if you guys didn't listen to that podcast last week, get on it right now. It's so helpful. And he is adding more and more features to that app. It's going to be, including for skip tracing and stuff like that. It's going to be super ninja. It already is. And everybody should be doing Driving for Dollars. So, but one thing that we were talking about with Tucker, which goes the same for me personally, this is actually a personal thing that each person individually needs to figure out for themselves. Even Joe and I, as partners in Seattle Investors Club, we each have different tax positions and different ways we make money outside of Seattle Investors Club. And for each person individually, they need to figure out what their own best tax strategy is based on their global income picture. If any of you guys haven't met Mark Canton yet, he's one of our local go-tos that is a wealth of information. Of course, he's a CPA. And we encourage you to go back and listen to podcast number 43 and get schooled up on, aside from that, we talk about all kinds of tax things, and we talk about depreciation recapture for all of you multifamily investors. You definitely need to know about that. That's almost like a phantom income that occurs when you sell a property if you don't do an exchange. But dive back onto that one, because that is certainly is a hot topic for 2018 and will absolutely continue to be a hot topic for all times, because what you guys will come to find out, we're going to touch on here in a little bit, is that brokerage income and flipping income, those are all taxed at ordinary income levels, the highest tax bracket you could possibly be at. Once you start kicking butt, you will be realizing pretty quick. People forget about it in the beginning for some reason. So this is a tip for all you people getting started, and then a reminder for all you guys to try and hold you accountable that are already kicking butt. You will be pretty depressed once you start writing, checks for 40% of your income, or who knows, even more, to the IRS because you don't do correct tax planning. Can you imagine think about how hard it is you guys work, right? How hard you work to do your flips and your brokerage business and your multifamily business or whatever it is, looking for deals, dealing with all those contractors and all that stuff. And you have to write huge checks to the IRS if you don't get this part of your business figured out. So go back and listen to that one. And we will continue to talk about tax strategies in 2018. Major focus for me, and I know for a lot of the higher end or the more experienced investors, if you're newer, you can do better than we all did. We wasted probably years when we got started not having the right tax plan in place. So get back on that, guys. So we got tax reform, opportunity zones, hot topic. How about BRRRR investing? I don't know, Joe, but it seems like every other person now wants to invest in multifamily and apartments and that sort of thing. People understand that flipping is a great way to make nice piles of cash, assuming all goes well. It's a lot of hard work, but worth it if it goes well and you buy right and you sell right and you get your budget right. But what happens is, as we were just mentioning on the tax stuff, is once you start making a boatload of money or a good amount of money, if you don't have a tax plan in place, you're going to get nailed. And one way to offset that flipping income or that brokerage income is having passive income properties that create tax losses. So what's interesting in passive investing, including, with your BRRRRs, is that you can collect cash flow on a monthly basis, but you can actually still have a taxable loss because of depreciation and amortization. So it's important that you guys understand the mechanics of how all that works, on which investing techniques or which investing strategies are ordinary income and which are more favorable for taxes, passive income, which you can accomplish through multifamily and BRRRR investing and stuff like that. Just the topic of BRRRR investing, everybody's talking about it because I think they realize, one, you don't have to wait to be a real estate pro to start buying BRRRR properties or to start buying multifamily properties. Best idea, as I say, if you're new, is to partner up with more experienced people. You can invest in syndications, you can hire property management companies, but all of you should from day one be thinking about investing in passive income properties because of the tax benefits. I'll tell you, everybody, I can't think of anybody that really kicks ass flipping or high-level brokerage, like I said, that doesn't at some point go, oh crap, I better start buying some rentals because of the tax issues, the differences in how they're treated tax-wise. So we have some awesome podcasts that we've done this year with some of our friends here that are deep dives into BRRRR investing and how to borrow money, which is huge topic that goes hand in hand with that. So I'm going to refer you guys back to, podcast number 46 with our friend Enrique Jevons. I'll say Jevons. Sorry, Enrique, I'm butchering that one. Property Management with Enrique Jevons is podcast number 46. So many major nuggets dropped in that. Not only about where he, I think Enrique has something like over 500 rentals. He manages over, over 600 or something. I'm making this number up, but we talk about it in the podcast, rentals. The guy is super dialed, owns a ton himself, and he drops all his personal nuggets, not only on how he values his properties, how he underwrites his properties, where he gets his rent comps, which lenders he uses. I mean, some serious nuggets dropped in that podcast number 46 with Enrique. So go back and check that out. In addition, guys, one of my favorite, part of the best new duo of 2018, the power couple, as they won at the Seattle Investors Club Christmas event. Our friend Albert Bowie and Mark Canton. We just talked about Mark, but our friend Albert Bowie is a kick-ass resource. I think he's been winning awards this year all over town from other investment clubs as well, because he's such a great contributor, just an all-around great dude. And he's a lender and an investor. So you guys need to go back and listen to, his podcast number. Which one is Albert? Podcast number 33 is Albert. Let me see if I can find that to give you guys the title on that one. But in that one, Albert and I break down the details of how to underwrite. Everybody, one of the hottest topics of 2019 for me is going to be teaching you guys where you fit in as a borrower. That is so important because it's individual to everybody. So you guys fully understand how to borrow money, how to get into a better lane so you can borrow more. And we're going to talk more with Albert. We did podcast number 33 this year, which is a deep dive into lending and investing with Albert Bowie. Go back and check it out. So what I'm doing, I'm tipping you guys off to all the hottest podcasts for 2018, all the hottest topics for 2018 and projecting forward into 2019 that you guys are going to want to brush up on and re-listen to as you have some downtime over the holidays and get ready to kick some ass in 2019. So go back, number 33 with Albert and Enrique, number 46, talks about BRRRR investing and lending and how all those are connected together. And then you're plugging in Mark on the taxes. I mean, it's a trifecta there, guys. It's totally awesome. One of the topics for 2019 that I'm going to be diving into, I want you guys to know about is, like I said, everybody's interested in passive investing, whether in-state or out-of-state or both. That's a topic on itself. But I actually think, and I know, there are different lanes within BRRRR, different strategies within BRRRR. And that is something that, people you see on different groups like WARI, our friend Jan's Facebook community, or even on Seattle Investors Club Facebook community. You guys jump on there if you're not on there already. Talking about is there one way to do BRRRR? Yes, I believe, there is a standard definition of what I think the intent of whoever, I think it's Brandon Turner. Shout out to Brandon Turner, who came up with the term BRRRR. And maybe there is a quote, we'll say, definition of what that is. But I think there are different variations or different lanes with BRRRR that fit some for some people and, fit one way for another based on your risk tolerance. So we're going to be jumping into that in 2019 with some new podcast guests covering, kind of breaking down BRRRR into, maybe some spin-offs that you guys need to learn so you can see what investing strategy works best for you. That's a big deal. You sit and you listen to, you look at social media, you listen to podcasts, and you hear people bragging and puffing, and I do this and I do 100 deals a year and I do it this way and I do it that way. Well, actually none of that matters, guys. What matters is what works for you. Something that you feel comfortable with. It's different for everybody. So there is no like, you're a stud if you do this. That there is no such thing as that exists. You're a stud if you have follow through consistently and you're living the life that you want to live and you've created financial freedom and freedom of your time to do what you want to do. That's a stud, not how many deals you do a year. You might want to keep your full-time job. You might love it. But guess what? Maybe you just want to do a few deals a year so you can take your family on vacation to wherever you want to go 2 or 3 times a year. And that's all you need for what your personal happiness is. That's a stud. Okay. Doesn't matter how much you do. Doesn't matter, how much money you throw into the bank, because not everybody needs that to be happy. Okay. Just remember that. So let's see. We've got tax reform, opportunity zones, BRRRR, and passive investing, all super hot topics for 2018. And along those lines, I'll jump into the next one, which is out-of-state investing and syndications, right? Well, syndications are when you invest with a group of investors and that there is a syndicator that finds the deal, underwrites the deal, puts the whole deal together, negotiates the deal, and then raises capital through a syndication, through selling subscriptions, accredited versus non-accredited investors. There's different ways to do it. And we are covered that this year with a few of our friends. Namely, we've talked to Tamar Mar, who is doing apartment syndications. That was podcast number 34. Go back and listen to Tamar. She's super fun. She has her own podcast, which I believe is called Investing for Life, that you might want to check out. She is just a fun person to be around in general. So girl power. Shout out to our friend Tamar. Great to see you at Charles' party. And another person on that list that does syndications that you guys, a lot of you are aware of and want to start listening to if you're interested in doing some investing in multifamily, is our friend Elisa Zhang. She is podcast number 52. Go back. All these people have different styles that I'm mentioning. Some are more experienced than others. Definitely they all have drive and all have deals under their belt, having success with deals under their belt. Maybe some are investing in different parts of the country, or maybe different size projects, but all worth picking up different tidbits from. So go back and listen to the podcast with our friend Elisa Zhang, which was number 52. I'm trying to go back here and see what we actually called it. Give me 1 second as I'm poking around our website here. Number 52, Joe, was called Elisa Zhang on real estate investing and syndication. How easy is that, right? So I'm sure we'll hear more from Elisa next year as she continues to grow her empire. We also have one of our favorite guys, Scott Price. Scott also came in person this year to a Seattle Investors Club meeting and schooled us, gave us his underwriting. Scott is a longtime multifamily investor, as well as invest in some other commercial asset classes that you guys, again, should school up on. I'm trying to find Scott's on here, number 27. Again, if you guys are interested in syndications and multifamily investing, you're going to be going to number 34 with Tamar, number 52 with Elisa, and number 27 with, these are podcast numbers, with Scott Price. Almost there to Scott's, because I want to tell you guys the exact name of it. And that would be Multifamily Investing with Scott Price. That was back in May, earlier this year. Again, if you are a member of Seattle Investors Club, just as a reminder that we videoed, right, Joe? Didn't we? We took a video of all our monthly meetings, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And Scott actually was the presenter earlier this year at one of those meetings. And how do they access that, Joe, if they want to jump into their membership site? Is there a special way to do that, or where do they find those?
They just have to go to the members login tab, and once they've logged in, then it will drop a whole nother menu down, and on that menu it says meeting recordings. Then they can just search or scroll, whatever.
Awesome sauce, guys. That's good stuff. All those topics are separate than our podcast topics. So if you are a Seattle Investors Club member with time on your hands, or a new member, and you want to get caught up on all the goodness that we dropped at our monthly meetings that are totally different and separate than our podcasts, our weekly podcasts here, that's a way to do that. Log into your membership site. What if somebody doesn't and forgot their login and password? Is there something on the website, Joe, that will automatically reset that for them, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's just like any other password system. In fact, we probably have one that they've used before on another site. So you could just go through and put in your email address. And if that still doesn't work, though, then you can email me, joe@seattleinvestorsclub.com, and I will dig into it for you and we'll come up with a solution. But it should be pretty easy, just like any other site.
Sweetness. Okay, there you go, guys. So thanks and shout out to our friend Scott Price, who I think just moved into his brand new home that he just built. I think Tamar just built a new house too. Look at all these people, guys. That's what happens when your dreams come true. You know, you get to build your dream home. I myself am sitting in my dream home that I built for myself. And guess who else is sitting in their dream home? My partner, Joe Bauer. That's right. Joe, yeah. Where are you? What are you sitting in, Joe? Your dream home. Lay it on us.
I'm sitting in a van with the top cut off.
That's right.
Professionally done, of course. But yeah, down in Florida in a van.
That's right, guys. I think normally we say this at the start of our podcast, but Joe, out of everybody I know, this guy actually is doing it right. Reverse engineer. We always talk about reverse engineering, right? Figure out what it is, that get some details on collecting stats on your performance or whatever you want to do, and then reverse engineer into making it happen. Joe basically is killing it because he knows what he wants out of life. He knows how he wants to live his life. And God damn it, if he just didn't go out and do it this year. And here we are, still running the show. And Joe's out there living the dream for his personal dream. So again, Shout out to Joe. He won the #1 award at the Seattle Investors Club party this year for living the dream, Joe Bauer. So
Julie Clark on the mic. What?
Yeah. Yep. Got a little backlash for that. Thanks, Tarl. Tarl gave me the Best Tipsy at a Party award at his party because I was having fun at our party. Hey, what are you going to do, right? So moving on, back to business here. We talked about syndications and out-of-state investing with our 3 friends there. We're going to keep cooking on here along the same lines is investing in passive investing, or you could do this on your own through, diversifying your portfolio, both in geography, which is something that I know that Elisa Zhang definitely talks a lot about. But who else talks about that is one of my number one favorite guys. There's a competition for a few those spots this year with me. I got a few number one favorite guys this year. And one of those guys is Ryan Gibson. If you guys have not met Ryan Gibson, make it a point in 2019 to meet this guy. Super smart, super interesting, commercial airline pilot turned pro investor. He specializes in self-storage and as well as other assets classification and diversifications, some funny stuff of what comes along sometimes when you buy storage facilities of some of the other assets that you pick up along the way, and how he's having fun and making a freaking killing with that, even an RV park. That is the guy that if you are listening to me and you want a tip on who to invest with, if you're looking for a syndicator, I've told you about Tamar and Elisa, and Scott might be open to that as well a little bit too, some partnering. But Ryan Gibson is somebody that I personally also will be investing with, hands down, not only to diversify my own portfolio and get into some different asset classes. I already own apartments and, do flipping and all that other stuff. But podcast number 56 with Ryan Gibson, you guys need to definitely listen to. And the thing is that if you're getting started, right, you need to have a roadmap of, you could invest with Scott and I think probably Elisa and probably Tamar too for like $50,000, right? And that puts you in a bigger project rather than buying a single family rental. Spread the love around, right? Learn, figure out what the minimum investments are with these syndicators and, make it a goal to raise that much money. If you love flipping, flip houses. That's not what I'm saying, right? But if you want to keep your money when you flip houses, you're going to need to do some passive investing. So this year, I'd like you guys all to get to know our friends that can help you do that. We know these people. Obviously you're going to do your own due diligence and you're going to develop your own relationships with these people. I'm just sharing my favorites with you as we roll through here. So take a listen to number 56 with our buddy Ryan Gibson. And let me see what the name of that one was. Let's see. That's pretty recent. So Ryan Gibson of Spartan Investment Group. That's the name of his company. And if you guys want to figure out why they named it Spartan Investment Group, you'll have to listen to that podcast, right? That's actually kind of an interesting thing for people to post on, finding out. We should ask that of everybody, Joe. Why did you name your company what you did? That's kind of a fun question to ask.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on your to-do list, Joe. That's going to be one of your questions because we have a couple that we like to ask every time. So I'm going to throw that one your way.
Cool.
That'd be cool to start asking everybody. Joe and I use these podcast guys as just like a conference call between ourselves sometimes. So thank you for listening. Hey guys, it's Julie, and I want to let you know real quick about a spectacular organization that I support that might interest you too. NAHREP, that's NAHREP, is the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. They have over 30,000 members, and they're the largest Hispanic trade association in the country. If you want to grow your business, connect, and have a great time with other real estate professionals like yourself, then join me at one of their events and see for yourself what all the buzz is about. Their yearly kickoff event called NAHREP Unplugged is coming up real soon on Thursday, January 24th. You can go to their website at NAHREP Seattle, that's NAHREP Seattle.com, or visit their Facebook page at NAHREP Seattle for more info. Come hang out with me at this event, and I'll see you there. So moving on, along the lines of hot topics, right? We've covered taxes, we've covered BRRRR investing. We know opportunity zones going forward is something everybody needs to know about. Syndications, diversification of how, even when you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars, how if you just probably have 50,000, you can get involved in some of these bigger deals through syndications and diversifications of asset types. Along those lines, something important that I know that Ryan Gibson and Lisa Zhang and I'm sure Tamar and some of these larger investor groups pay very close attention to is hot topic is cost segregation. If you guys don't know what cost segregation is, we are going to have a cost segregation expert on the podcast, referred to us by some of our friends, coming up here in 2019. They're going to talk to you about what that means. It basically allows you to accelerate your depreciation and your write-offs in your passive income investments. I think it only makes sense at certain sizes, so you're not going to be doing this on like single family rentals and stuff. But again, knowing all this stuff, you guys knowing this ahead of time, all these people that are doing this, they found out afterwards, okay? You guys are all getting to find this out ahead of time. And like, get yourself for Christmas, I want you guys to all buy yourself a big whiteboard, okay? And you need to map it out, your goals and what your roadmap to being a syndicator yourself. What does that look like? Listen to these guys and you guys are going to get a big head start. Maybe make less mistakes, or maybe take advantages of certain things that they could have early on that they had to learn on their own or took a while to learn that we're tipping you guys off on. So cost segregation is a huge topic. It's again, connects right. Everything seems to connect back to taxes and how to minimize your taxes, right? Hot topic if you're getting started is understanding whether or not maybe you should become an S Corp or not. I'm not going to go deep dive into that today, but that just circles back up on that tax planning topic. But we'll let you guys know coming up here, hopefully in January or sometime soon, we'll be covering cost segregation in more detail. In the meantime, use the Googler, look it up. I'm sure they probably cover it on Bigger Pockets if you want to dive deep into that hot topic right now. But it's all connected here, guys. And then, of course, I want to make sure that we talk about our local flipping pros that you guys can go back if you're just getting started, or maybe you flip however many homes you do a year. We got some ninjas, some very systematized and some very successful flippers here in our local market. Some of those I'm going to name out right now and refer back to the podcast. They all drop nuggets that are different that you can pick up from. And that is, of course, our friends Christine Kwan and Olivier. I don't know if I'm going to say it right because he's French. Olivier Rignon. I don't know. Joe, do you know how to say his last name? Shout out to our friends Olivier and Christine. We'll just call them Olivier and Christine. How about that? That was podcast number 32. Talk about a powerhouse couple, guys. You know, I know Albert and Mark are the best new duo powerhouse couple of 2018. Love you, fellas. But, you know, right on your heels. Oh, I think these guys won an award from Seattle Investors Club also this year. It's Olivier and Christine, most likely to run for office, I think was the award. And political office. These guys are, you know, probably like next presidents of the United States or governor or some sort of something. These guys are remarkable, so systematized, got it figured out, just crushing it. In fact, I think they just bought a hotel in Puyallup. If you guys want to know how they do that, go back and listen to podcast number 32 with the husband and wife powerhouse team. Christine and Olivier, how we, quote, do it. That's me trying to be a stand-up comedy. Get it? How we do it. Ha ha. Hee ha. Yep. Can't keep it out of the gutter. I don't know how many minutes we are in, Joe, and it's my first gutter joke right there, but I've been holding out. So of course, totally crazy. We're going to have them back on, hopefully sometime soon. I think they're out of town for the holidays now. And we are going to deep dive into general contractor stuff and like best practices when it comes to running your flips, as far as how they do it, who buys the materials, how do they do all that, all the details that go into flipping and being efficient and yet staying legal and not getting yourself, in the line of fire by doing something you're not supposed to do if you're a general contractor or you're not a general contractor. What's happening, guys, is that we have had our first week of our new Seattle Investors Club format, where I think you guys know about this, but this is your first time hearing it. That means that you either haven't gotten on our email list, which all you got to do is do what? How do they get on our email list, Joe, to get invited to all our goodness with Seattle Investors Club and all our announcements about excellent, awesome information and some new things we're going to be kicking off in 2019. If they don't want to miss out on that and they're not already getting our emails of those notifications, how do they do that, Joe?
You get our email list just by stopping by SeattleInvestorsClub.com, and there's pop-ups and all kinds of stuff on there. And if you don't want to do that, just send your email to me, Joe at SeattleInvestorsClub.com, and I'll get you hooked up. Right
on. Yeah, you guys are going to want to definitely get on the list because we have some new things coming out in 2019, some new formats, some new topics, some new cool stuff. But one of those things, which we just kicked off last week, and just I will say, is our new Seattle Investors Club format. So we are now no longer doing a monthly meeting. We are doing a quarterly event day, which will have 3 sessions in one day. You can come to one, you can come to all, you can do whatever you want as a member of Seattle Investors Club, or you can drop in and pay a drop-in fee as well. But one of the things we've done, especially for our members, Super Ninja, and it went way better in our inaugural kickoff week last week, is our one-on-one and small group local coaching. Holy smokes. I didn't think anybody would show up. So thank you and shout out to you guys for showing up to that last week. We're going to be doing it every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It'll be in Tuesdays most likely down in Georgetown. You're going to want to be on our email list because right now we're testing the actual locations. Last week we were at All City Coffee down in Georgetown. It was actually a great venue. The parking kind of wasn't the best, so I might switch it up. Stay on our RSVP list to find out if that's going to change. And then on Thursdays, it's up in Green Lake at Zoka. What's it called, Joe? Zoka Coffee Roaster and Tea House.
Yep.
Up by Green Lake for all you Northland folks. You guys are welcome to come to both from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday at the South End location and the North End location, we'll call it. And that's it. Free for members. Come with your deals, your questions, come talk shop. It was amazing what happened this week. Blew me away. It was so much better than I thought, at least for the first week. And if it's going to continue on like that, holy smokes. Major amounts of information shared, not just from me, but from the other people that showed up, helping each other. Very loose format. Bring any question you have, any deal you have, whatever you want. Or if you don't have questions and you want to just check in on the local market or talk shop, come. You might get a big surprise of what you walk away with. So loved it. Looking forward to that in 2019. But what I'll say is I'm back to now. Who else we are looking at? We were talking about Christine and Olivier for Flippin' Pros. Oh, I know what I was saying. That great topics are coming out of these weekly small group or one-on-one coaching sessions. So thank you guys for giving me a whole new fresh perspective on stuff you guys want to hear about. I'm going to be cherry picking from those weekly meetups, roundtable masterminds, I'll call them, for new topics. And we're going to have Olivier and Christine back on for a topic that was requested at one of those this last week. Other flipping pros you definitely want to listen to is our man, Jared Holland. That is podcast number 48. And I think that one we called, what'd we call that one, Joe, with Jared? Flipping Seattle with Jared Holland. This guy is the ninja. Not only is he crushing it in the flip business, but he gets a ton of deals with his system that he employs right in the same neighborhood while he's doing his flips. So listen to number 48 to get to know how Jared runs his business that you guys can just copy, honestly. He doesn't have a huge team at all. So you can crush it with that one. Also who else is on the list? Super for flipping pros. If you guys want to get super schooled, of course, our friend Tarl Yarber, we did early on, podcast number 14. I think you guys all know Tarl. If you want to hear our podcast interview with Tarl, go back and check out podcast number 14. He's kind of one of the big players in town. He is a big player in town. He's switching up his game, guys. Did a lot of years of flipping, realized, holy crap, I should have kept those. And totally is switching his business model into more of a buy hold model. Much better for his taxes. And take a listen to how Tarl runs his team through podcast number 14. One other great one is podcast number 51 with our friend Davis. We say it Sue. Is that how we say his last name, Joe?
Davis.
HSU, but it's
Davis Sue.
Davis Sue. He probably says, I think, again, when I butcher it, we always go over that. It might be a little different than that, but we have Davis has been the director of real estate valuations at Veristone Capital for the last who knows how long, years and years and years. This guy knows how to value and underwrite your flips, okay? Major nuggets dropped between me and Davis on podcast number 51 on how a hard money lender looks at your flips, and that's important because they're the ones that are going to lend you the money a lot of times. We talk about some ninja stuff on variables and what to do and what not to do to underwrite your ARV on your deals on podcast number 51, Real Estate Valuation with Davis Sue. Be sure to listen to that. You know, that's like insider info coming from a number one guy in town who does full time. All he does is calculate ARVs. Okay. I think he's even got a consulting business that you might be able to hire him for that now on your own too. I'm not sure. Check into it. Listen to the podcast. That's number 51. I know we had Lika on. I don't know what number that is. I don't even know. Has that one even dropped yet?
Lika is, let's see here.
That's coming up, I think.
Lika's 58, actually. She has not dropped yet.
58 has not dropped yet. So by the time you guys are listening to this, our friend Lika Devta, who's a major flipper in town, rock star, girl power flipper in town, does beautiful work, is coming up on podcast number 58. That'll be dropping this week or next week. I don't know which one, but probably by the time you're listening to this, it's already dropped. So go check it out. Now what I'm going to do is go to just the last thing I'm going to talk about is some super important topics that you guys need to know about. Again, you got some downtown over the holidays. I'm going to tell you guys what I think are some general super great topics that you need to do a deep dive in that we can help you out because we've done a podcast about those. And one of those is title and escrow. If you guys need to know how important and you don't understand how title and escrow play into the success of your game and the relationships, game changer. Some of the lists that I get from the dude who is podcast number 28, my personal title and escrow rep, John Kirkpatrick. You guys need to listen to number 28 and how eloquent he will explain to you and how important title and escrow are. Hot topic that everybody needs to know about for their business. Number 28 is our title and escrow podcast with the dude, my main man, John Kirkpatrick. We don't say his name on the podcast, but I can drop it to you now. Another hot topic is insurance with Nick Soy Sauce, we'll call him. Because his last name, I don't know if you say it Soy or Soy. Joe says it's like soy sauce, soy. Nick Soy from Farmers Insurance. We'll call him Nick Soy Sauce. It's such, you guys, you're probably all screwing up the type of insurance you put on your flips. So I want to make sure, even if you're already using Farmers, okay, I challenge you all the next time you're going to go get insurance for any of your properties, any of your birds, your buy and holds, any of your flips. You might have somebody that you use, but I encourage you to call up Nick Soy from Farmers Insurance. You know, not every insurance agent is the same, and see what he says that might be different than whoever it is that you're using. If you're using somebody great and you want to stick with them, no problem. But listen to this podcast. Not only is it going to help you understand what the cost of your insurance is for your flips, but it's going to tell you what other special add-ons that you need to plug into your insurance to keep yourself safe and protected in the different types. We go over the different types of insurance and when you need which type, how much it costs, and all that on podcast number 50. Next thing you guys should listen to for sure is our podcast, especially now kicking off the new year. You guys need to do this right now. It has been a game changer for Joe and I. And that is our podcast number 38 with Mike Motorbike, our buddy from Profit First. He's the author of Profit First. If you have not read that book and you need a book to read over the holidays, definitely pick that one up for yourself. And then also listen to podcast number 38 with Mike Michalowicz. I don't even know if I said his last name right. We call him Mike Motorbike. This makes life so easy, especially, guys, if you have a partner. If you have a partner and one partner runs the books and all that sort of stuff, and not only that, it is such an easy way to keep your funds going where they need to be. You know, putting aside money for taxes, putting aside money for a profits account that you can distribute from, putting aside money for owner's pay to make sure you guys are paying yourself something like a salary out of your business. This system is so easy and so a no-brainer. It's painless. You guys will have much more control over your business if you set up something like this. This is what Joe and I use. Joe, is there an app? Is that Braintree app or something like that? Something that you plug into that, or what? Or what is that?
No, the Braintree just is what we use as our payment processor. But there should be an app. It seems like that would be a good way of doing it.
But when you are using the Profit First system, are you transferring all those things, or it's automatically happening somehow?
I actually go in and transfer. So the way that it works is 2 times a month, you have yourself or your bookkeeper or whoever on your team could do it. And they go through, and there should be somebody that's like reconciling all the transactions. And that's when it happens, is that you have this big pot of money that you make, you know, for the whole month or the 2 times of the month. And then those get distributed based off of the percentages for each account. Right.
So the Profit First system teaches you how to basically which accounts to set up and which percentages, right? And then, once or twice a month, yourself or your accountant or whatever goes in and basically distributes the money into those accounts based on those percentages that are you get taught through the Profit First system to efficiently run your business. It sounds boring and stupid, but you guys will thank us if you read that book and listen to this podcast.
Also, if you listen to the audiobook version, Mike actually does it, and he is hilarious.
Funny guy. And we all know we like the comedy. We like the laugh, right? Who doesn't like the funny? We all like the funny. So listen to that one with our buddy Mike Michalowicz on Profit First. That's podcast number 38. And then, of course, just to wrap it up here, creative real estate. We don't want to forget about our buddy Jacob Weaver. This is a great year to start learning and brushing up about creative real estate. It's always good to know about creative real estate. And podcast number 7 with our main man, Jacob Weaver, covers that topic in detail. I think it's the only one, except for we have podcast number coming up with Larry and Mariska with Mariska is about to drop. And it's probably dropping by the time you guys hear this, that one's already out. I don't know what podcast number that'll be. Which one is that, Joe? Do you know?
Yeah, I might be getting mixed up a little bit. That one might be 59, and this one is 60. I'll have to recheck.
Okay, so 59 or 60 with our friends Larry and Mariska. Mariska drops all the details. We go deep dive into lease options and a little bit on note investing, but some deep dives into lease options coming up here on number 59 or something like that. It'll probably have just dropped by the time you guys have listened to this one. And then for all you people wanting to diversify, podcast number 29 with Frank Rolfe from Mobile Home University. Ever thought about investing in mobile homes? Killer. Massive cash flow can become off those deals. If you're looking for another asset class to invest in, have a listen to podcast number 29 with Frank Rolfe from Mobile Home University, who we hope to have out, somebody from his team, in 2019 as well. Yep. Working on that for you guys in person to one of our quarterly events that'll be coming up. And lastly, you guys need to know how to comp properties. That is like crucial to your business. So yours truly here drops all the details on podcast number 49, how to comp properties. Is a really good listen. If you need to brush up on that, listen to podcast number 49. But that's about it, guys. That's all we got today. Just kind of, reflecting on 2018, hot topics for 2018 and going forward into 2019. All those podcasts are going to set you up for a major win and major success, point you in the right direction. For the rest of you guys, if you have any questions, the good news is every week you can come to a free local roundtable mastermind, one-on-one or small group coaching. This is something that we are giving you guys here in 2018, free for all Seattle Investors Club members. And you can drop in. We limit that to 2 times. You can drop in on those roundtable masterminds every week. You get 2 times for the year. Otherwise, just join the club. It's a no-brainer. It's $220 for the year, or like $320 if you're a team. Super good deal. As part of that, you get our Joe and I's personal off-market purchase and sale agreement and assignment contract. That alone is worth joining. On top of that, you get access to all the old monthly meetings that are in video form. There's some trainings in there as well in the membership site. There's going to be some more members-only stuff coming up that's going to be awesome in 2019. But some serious gold in these free local masterminds. If you are a Seattle Investors Club member, you can come every week as much as you want all year. That's huge. Who does that? We do for you guys because we love you guys. We got your back. And the reason why also is because we want to hang out. 2019 is the year of relationships, really focusing on that, trying to get to know you guys better. It is amazing when you have a small group of people sitting around a table, what happens. It totally changes the dynamic. So we hope that you will join us. We are taking the week of, it's already passed, so it doesn't matter if I say this, but we're taking this week off, the week of Christmas and Christmas Eve. We won't be having our meetings here. So sorry if you showed up and we weren't there, but make sure to read your emails because you would have gotten an email that said that. So, other than that, I feel like I've been talking to myself, you and Joe, just like a company meeting here for the last however knows long I've been yapping. But happy holidays. I hope you guys have had a wonderful kickoff and have all had a happy, wonderful, safe New Year's, because it's probably New Year's by the time you have listened to this. And I cannot wait to get to know you all better and hang out in 2019. Okay? That's all I got. If you guys have topics you want to talk about, just email Joe at SeattleInvestorsClub.com.
Heck yeah.
And we'll continue to bring you the goodness in 2019. We already have some ninja stuff lined up. We have some ninja guests lined up for our first quarterly meeting, which we haven't done the date announcement on because we're kind of waiting for that person to confirm their availability date. But I am super stoked for that. And best wishes to you all to kick ass in 2019. Let's do it together. Right on? Maybe we get to see Joe, hopefully at least in quarterly, as he's out traveling the globe. You got a big trip planned this year, don't you, Joe?
Ooh, yeah. Going to Italy.
Nice.
Italy.
So fun. So jealous. Well, I am trying to go to Salzburg, Austria. The girls and I, the reason why? Because us Clarks love the sound of music. The sound of music. And so we are going to try and get to Salzburg, Austria this year to not only do the Sound of Music tour, but just spread our wings and check out the rest of the world. So that's our why, traveling. I'm sure you guys all have your own. I can't wait to hear what it is when we get to hang out, little small groups this year. But other than that, as usual, I'm starving, so it's time to go. Right? So, Joe, love you, brother. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'm sure I'll talk to you before the New Year, but I won't probably talk to you before Christmas. So I love you and proud of you and proud of all of you guys. And let's kick some ass next year. So that's it for me.
Love you too. And kick butt, guys. And just a quick little note from me here before you go. I would recommend looking at this on the website as you're listening to it so you can go and pin all of the shows that Julie talked about. So go to SeattleInvestorsClub.com/60. I know I said 59 earlier. I was mistaken. It's SeattleInvestorsClub.com/60. We've done 60 of these things, and I would listen and be taking notes as you're scrolling down the page and clicking on and bookmarking all of those other awesome shows.
So what you're saying, Joe, is in the show notes of this podcast, right?
Exactly.
Onto our website, all these, I didn't call out 60 podcasts here, guys. I did do a lot, didn't I? But they are all going to be linked here in the show notes?
Yeah. So you can go through and just as you're listening to this, if you think, oh, that's cool, that's really interesting, that's one that I would like to listen to, you can just be looking at the computer screen or your phone as you're listening, click on that link and it will jump you there so you could bookmark it for when you're done listening to this show, you can start listening to some of the other ones that you think would be cool.
Awesome. I've tipped you off to my favorites, what I think the ones that are going to be the most super helpful for you guys. And not only that, now that we've done something that we feel is super helpful for you guys, we'd like to ask you to do something super helpful for us. What would that be, Joe?
Anybody that leaves any review at all. We really like the 5-star reviews. Those are our favorite. You can do so by going to SeattleInvestorsClub.com/iTunes. That will port you right over to the iTunes platform, and then you can follow over and give us a review, and we would love it. In fact, we didn't have anybody do it when we asked for it, but I will do 500 push-ups on video if we get five-star reviews in a week.
You know what's awesome, guys, is if you do that and Joe has to do those 500 push-ups in a week or in a day?
I'll do it in a day. And just so you guys know, the most I've probably ever done in a day before is 200. So this would be like double what I've ever done before in a day.
And then after that, Joe, what can we make you do that's even harder? We'll make Emily sit on your back while you do them next time after that. All right. So you guys, this is an important one to go back to the show notes on SeattleInvestorsClub.com, on the podcast tab page or SICpodcast.com, and utilize those show notes so you don't have to memorize or keep notes on all these awesome podcast drops that I hit you up with today. But other than that, you got anything else, Joe?
Nope. Ready to rock.
Ready to rock. Ready to rock. And if you don't want to have to go to the website all the time to be reminded or check your email, I guess you would be coming through your email, but you guys hit that subscribe button and then you won't miss any of these in these podcasts.
True that.
True that. True that. All right, guys, over and out. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. And we'll see you all again soon.
See you later.
Thanks for listening to the Seattle Investors Club podcast. If you have questions that you'd like to have answered on the show, shoot us an email at info@SeattleInvestorsClub.com. Now go out, take that action, and build that real estate business. Thanks for listening.